Pop quiz. Who is sitting 33rd on Brian Friend's power ranking list of the top 100 female CrossFit athletes? Who's also been missing from the games the last 2 years? And are they planning to make a run at the games this year? Let's take a look. Welcome back to the channel. Now, if you hadn't guessed from that intro or the thumbnail or probably the title of this video, I wanted to have a little chat about Bethany Shadburn. I've heard her name come up a couple of times recently, and it seems people are unsure about what she's doing, whether or not she'll be making a run for the CrossFit Games next season. In fact, notice Brian's comments when he was talking about his power rankings on the Savan podcast.
I don't know if Bethany is going to try to compete again this year or not. If she does, I would put her even higher than this on the list, probably 20 to 25. And if she even comes back and does one competition and shows anything like what she was before, I'd move her up another 10 spots into the 10 to 15 range. So this is a conservative ranking of her based on her potential, but I felt it's kind of like Taylor Self. Like if I knew he was healthy and competing, I'd put him higher. If I knew that he wasn't competing, I'd take him off the list altogether. So I kind of put Bethany here, which I think is a okay spot for her, given the fact that I'm not really sure what her intentions are competition-wise this season. Just wanted to recognize the fact that she wasn't in the field and she is a notable name that would make an impact on the field if she does compete.
So Brian's not sure what Bethany's doing. If she does make a run for the games, he has a lot of confidence in her. Savan, not as diplomatic.
And then you have Bethany Shadburn, who, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, she's retired. She's done. It just seems like Dani Spiegel's not in the right place.
So what is Bethany's plan for the upcoming CrossFit season, the current off-season? Now, of course, I could just stand here and speculate about what she might decide to do, but I thought a better solution was just to ask her, and that's exactly what I did. So before I tell you what she told me and her plan for the coming season, I thought I would just remind ourselves about what's happened the last couple of years, because she's had a couple of rough seasons. So if you remember correctly, there was this incredible team of women coming from Underdog Athletics. Everyone was talking about them, and it was of course comprised of Danielle Brandon, Carrie Pearce, and Bethany Shadburn. All three of them qualified for the CrossFit Games out of the West Coast Classic, in fact taking first, second and third, with Bethany taking that first place spot. Let's just take a little look at her performance there.
Really focus the other extenuating circumstances like their nutrition and sleep in a way that is more beneficial of a professional athlete. They've already shown to be fringe top 5 athletes even without those factors.
Bethany Shadburn is on her final 5 reps. Biggest factor for her is maybe being healthy. Working on that back that has bothered her for so long. And fighting to keep that dumbbell overhead. Bethany Shadburn will win the event in inside 10:30. The time to beat was 11:51.
So Bethany wins that semi-final, and she's really in a position of strength going into the games. People are very positive about her performance, what she might be able to accomplish there. But what happened when they got to the games? Well, I'm sure we remember 2 years ago seeing Danielle Brandon having to compete on her own, being isolated from the rest of the women's field, and that's because she'd been in contact with people that had COVID. The people she'd been in contact with, Carrie Pearce and Bethany Shadburn. So their game season ended very unceremoniously. So a disappointing end to her CrossFit Games season that year, but what happened next? Well, we next saw Bethany at Wodapalooza, where she had a pretty good showing. She finished second overall. She even managed to take an event win.
Elite division at Wodapalooza. Ariel Lowen is up as well. Lowen is ahead of Dani Spiegel as Lowen looks to hang on to 3rd place overall. Final 5 reps now for Bethany Shadburn. Ellie Turner, meanwhile, is really putting on a good charge here on these demo presses. 2 reps remaining for Shadburn. Now 2 reps remaining for Emma McQuaid. Final rep for Bethany Shadburn. She's going to close out her competition with an event win, but it may not be enough. 6:59.
So again, people are pretty impressed with what Bethany's able to accomplish. There's a lot of positive talk of her going into the games. We have the Open, and then during quarterfinals, tragedy strikes when she injures her back warming up for event 4. And then that was it. That was the last we saw of Bethany. Well, not exactly. If you follow her on social media, for example, you'll know that she was at the CrossFit Games. She was there as part of a meet and greet put on by Born Primitive. And she's been pretty busy, including the fact that she recently got married. So congratulations, Bethany. But all of that being said, what's happening now? Because we've seen a number of off-season competitions releasing their rosters or letting us know athletes that have been invited. We've also seen a number of online qualifiers going on. And yet Bethany's name has been noticeably absent from all of this. So will that change? Are we going to see her in the off-season? Is she going to be making a run at the games for 2023? Well, that's what I wanted to know, so I reached out and sent her a few messages last month. Basically, I asked what's her plan, and she said that she is planning to make a run for the games in 2023. She feels pretty confident that she can do it. She says she's hitting pretty good milestones, so she feels confident in herself of that. I also asked if we were going to see her at any off-season competitions, maybe just to, shake out the cobwebs, see how her body's holding up, and she said that that was unlikely, that probably she's just going to focus on the Open. So just because we probably won't see her again for a little while does not mean she's not intending to qualify for the CrossFit Games. Now, obviously, people will have mixed feelings about her decision. Some would feel that she should be competing in off-season events, getting a little bit of time on the competition floor, ready to then try and make a run for the CrossFit Games. Whereas others may look to people like Sarah Sigmundsdottir, who came back from an injury. We saw her at a number of off-season competitions, and then she failed to qualify for the CrossFit Games. And many felt that she had done too much in the lead-up, putting her body under too much stress, particularly coming back from an injury. Now, when we look at Bethany and we think about the way she competes, we think about the way she trained, her famously long warm-ups, it is no surprise to see her taking a more measured approach to her return and really focusing on qualifying for and hopefully performing well at the CrossFit Games. But what do you think? Can Bethany make a triumphant return to the CrossFit Games? Or have her injuries and the time away allowed these young up-and-comers too much time to now get ahead and she's going to be playing catch-up? Will she qualify for the games next year? Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you in a future video.